What's going on, everybody? Nazdarachi back again with a more traditional episode of Relic Review for you here. We're going to cover the second banner of the Final Fantasy IX Rose of May event, and as always, don't forget that your more difficult Conquest Raid boss comes with that. You'll be facing Kuja. He does a little bit of physical damage and a lot of bit of magic damage, so you're going to have to bring attack and magic breakdowns. And as well, probably magic protection is the one you're going to want to prioritize, but a little bit of physical protection won't hurt either. So keep that in mind. As well, some information on the contest I'm running. We got 248 subscribers now at this point, so we're waiting on just 2 more people, and I will be announcing the winner. Now, I set kind of a soft cap for that to be right around a week, so for whatever reason, if I can't attract 2 more people by the end of the week, I will go ahead and announce a winner anyways, but I do expect it to happen a little bit sooner than that. So, let's check out this Relic banner here. This one should be fairly quick to go through because some of the items are kind of questionable in my personal opinion, but let's hit it here. First item, Black Mage Staff for BV here. Small boost to fire damage, always in effect. 77 attack, 163 magic, and 81 mind. Your Overstrike Soul Break, Life's Torch, deal massive magic, fire, and non-elemental damage to one target, can break the damage cap. This is a basic Mage Overstrike Soul Break here, which obviously leans towards fire and non-elemental damage. There's no special modifiers or any conditions, so overall, there's not a whole lot to cover with this one. It is a reasonably cool animation here, so if you want some Final Fantasy IX magic synergy and you're already building Vivi, it's not a terrible item to get. Otherwise, I don't see any particular reason why this one would be one that you would really go after. 0.77% chance to pull this relic here. Moving on, we have the Burst Soul Break Fists of Flame. It's the Avenger Fist Gauntlet for Amarant. 136 attack, no other stats. Only a synergy bonus, small boost to fire damage, so mixed functionality, but will help if you're in Final Fantasy IX. Your Burst Soul Break Fists of Flame. I'm pretty sure there is a text error, but let's go ahead and read this anyway and see if we can make sense of it. Deal 6 ranged physical fire and non-elemental attacks to all targets. Grant haste and burst mode to the user, and temporarily infuse them with the power of fire. So the second half of this has to contain some sort of textual error because that doesn't really make sense unless you're infusing your enemies with the power of fire after damaging them, which would totally make this one of the worst burst soul breaks in the game because it would be one of the only ones that empowers your enemy. But I'm fairly confident that it's supposed to either be the user or perhaps the whole team with the power of fire. If it's the whole team, that makes this stand out a little bit more, but if it's just the user, then it is kind of a run-of-the-mill average burst soul break. I'm fairly certain it's probably just the user, but I guess we'll find out if they make a correction to that. Burst abilities, Flying Fire Fist, 4 ranged physical fire, non-elemental attacks to one target, critical hits deal additional damage. Now, nothing about this burst soul break or any of the other relics on this banner actually increases your chance to crit or really adds any critical hit damage. As far as I know, I only briefly breezed through it. We'll find out for sure when we kind of detail everything. But again, as far as I know, nothing really on this banner stacks with this, so you're going to have to bring something from another realm or something from another banner to get any bonus to this critical hit deal additional damage effect. Or you're going to have to bring an ability on him, monk style ability, that's going to bring that effect. But either way, the Burst Soul Break does not give you a way to trigger these extra critical hits. Sundowner Kick, 2 ranged physical fire and element attacks to all targets with critical hits dealing additional damage. Weird item, I don't know what to make of it until they fully correct this text right here, but not something that I would necessarily be super interested in unless you really want 9 synergy, or as well, for fire related stuff it can be good. and you have about a 0.89% chance to draw it. Next up, we have Proof of Existence, the Flame Staff for Vivi again. Does have the constant small boost to fire damage, 55 attack, 126 magic, 63 mind. And Proof of Existence, 4 magic, fire, non-elemental attacks to all targets, haste and burst mode to the user, and temporarily infuse the user with the power of fire. If you're building a fire team, or for synergy, this, isn't terrible. Really kind of see it best in a fire-themed team if you're going into a dungeon where you know your enemies are weak to fire. Throw this guy on a team with, say, Locke, for example, with his burst and super soul breaks, and that will definitely enhance it. In synergy, he's your obviously go-to black mage, but burst commands here are not too crazy either. 4 magic, fire, non-elemental attacks to 1 target, and double cast fire all, 2 magic, fire, and non-elemental attacks to all targets. No special conditions there really either, or speed modifiers, or anything out of the ordinary. So really, it's just kind of an average burst soul break. I do like Vivi, his character model and stuff, so fire damage, again, is really the selling point of this item. Other than that, it is kind of average. And you have about a 0.99% chance to draw it. Moving on, we have the Burst Soul Break Lightbringer for Beatrix. Small boost to holy damage, always in effect. That's nice, but you'll have, hopefully by now, maybe some more powerful Overstrike swords that'll have that same effect. But for synergy, if you didn't pull on Banner 1 or get any of her stuff, this in theory could be kind of useful as well. 68 mind, 128 attack, no other stats. Your Burst Soul Break Knight Protector, 4 physical holy attacks to all targets, lower their holy resistance, haste and burst mode to the user, deals more damage if no allies are KO'd, which more often than not you will be getting the full effect from that unless you're really up shit's creek without a paddle. The lowering holy resistance will fit in well for any holy build teams or bosses weak to holy damage. And the burst abilities are some of the better burst abilities on this banner. Bulwark Blade, 2 physical holy attacks to 1 target, temporarily raise the defense a large amount of the user, and attract single target physical and black magic attacks. And Sworn Blade, 2 physical attacks to 1 target, and temporarily raise the user's resistance a moderate amount. Second ability really is only going to help you in a magic-based battle, but the first ability will as well set you up to be kind of a nice tank here. So this is your tanking character for Final Fantasy IX. Again, from this banner, this is one of the better burst soul breaks in my opinion. One of the ones I would probably want, but I'm kind of good on knight characters right now, but I have awful Final Fantasy IX synergy, so again, it would never hurt to have it. And you have about a 0.89% chance to draw. Next up, we got the Super Soul Break Power Throw, back to Amarant here. No bonus effects, 118 attack, thrown weapon here, 8 ranged physical attacks to 1 target, and temporarily raise the user's attack a moderate amount and defense a small amount. Critical hits deal additional damage. Again, there's nothing on this banner that actually increases his chance to crit, so you'd have to be roaming warrioring or bringing that effect from elsewhere to really get the best usage out of this, but it is capable of doing reasonably good DPS to 1 target, and the buffs on it are kind of useful for what Amarant is going for here. The defense a small amount could be a little better. It is attack and defense, so it will stack with Onion buff. I don't know, reasonable, decent Super Soul Break for DPS and for buffs. I'm not entirely convinced Amarant is the greatest character to be using, but who am I to judge? I haven't played Final Fantasy IX. And oh yeah, for Amarant's thrown weapon there, you looks like you had 2.24% chance to draw. Moving forward, we have Zidane's Vest, light armor, 17 attack, 112 defense resistance, so actually 1 stat less compared to other light armors in the game. But you do have a small boost to wind damage in effect at all times, so for synergy and wind-based teams, this is not terrible. Super Soul Break Storm Impulse, 8 physical wind and non-elemental attacks to 1 target, and temporarily infuse the user with the power of wind. Kind of an average Super Soul Break, but 8 physical to 1 target is a, reasonable amount of DPS, and the infusing the user with the power of wind will fit in nicely with any build you have with Alpha Gnaw, Zac, Cloud, other wind synergy. So this item is moderately functional in the right situation as a Super Soul Break, but in the overall sense, it's just kind of average. Your percent chance to draw is looking like 1.98% here. Moving on, we have the Tin Armor Super Soul Break for Steiner, the Sword Magic Firaga, 17 attack, 135 defense, 92 resistance on heavy armor, 4 physical fire attacks to all targets, and temporarily lower their fire resistance. Again, in a fire situation, or if you are building a team with Locke and Vivi and other fire-related characters, this will fit in quite nicely as a niche fire effect. Outside of synergy and fire-based builds, kind of a below average Super Soul Break, 4 physical attacks instead of 8, for example, on the other Super Soul Break for Zidane, and no non-elemental damage, so only fire. Kind of lowers its functionality a little bit here, but again, for your fire-based builds, you can find decent usage of this, in the right team composition. This can fit in nicely. Overall, Banner 2 is seeming to wrap up a lot weaker than Banner 1. I really think Banner 1 would be the one to pull on unless you have a lot of chance for dupes. And I would really, like I said, go for probably Banner 1 over Banner 2. But you've got a 1.82% chance to draw your Tin Armor here. And we have a Super Soul Break for Beatrix, the Ragnarok Again sword. I believe I already have this item. 125 attack, 68 mind, no bonus effects, Psych and Shock, 8 physical attacks to 1 target, and enable each ally to avoid 1 magic attack, effective against most spells. This is actually probably one of the more useful, if not the most useful, Super Soul Breaks on this banner. Again, unless you're using Zidanes and building a wind team, then this is the most useful Super Soul Break on this banner. The Magic Blink on the whole team definitely fits in nicely for certain magic-based boss fights, like the Kuja Raid Dungeon, for example. This Super Soul Break would be decently useful here if you don't have her OSB or BSB or anything else to really go with. And yeah, again, this is, I think, in my opinion, the best Super Soul Break on the banner, most useful, and you have about a 1.98% chance to draw. And we have the Thunder Gloves, one more item for Beatrix here, minor lightning resistance at all times, 26 attack, 18 magic, 88 defense, 79 resistance, 19 mind, stats all over the place. And Rose of May, unique Soul Break. Interestingly enough, this is, I think, the first unique Soul Break we've seen on a banner in a little bit here. 4 physical attacks to 1 target and temporarily raise the party's defense a moderate amount. I'm not going to say it is bad. The buff will stack with other buffs, but by itself, it really doesn't have a whole lot to offer. This is going to be a unique Soul Break that I guess you would really only use if it's kind of the only Soul Break you have for, or if you're, I guess, stacking it with a bunch of other buffs as well, it could maybe fit in, but you're not really going to want this item really that much here, kind of avoidable. But again, every item has a purpose and some use, I guess. This one being just one of the least useful ones. And you have about 2.33% chance to pull here. That is all the items on the banner. So let's just do a 100 gem draw. I am still trying to build my resources back up, so stick to dollar draws here for a little bit until something really tempting comes around. So, did we get anything? We get anything? We did not. Just a 3-star Cutlass. Oh well, again, Final Fantasy IX, I'm not too upset with having not the greatest synergy for Final Fantasy IX. And as well, again, I would advise that if your synergy and your dupe percent chance is low, probably just stick with Banner 1 over Banner 2. That's just my professional opinion. I tend to favor the items on Banner 1 a good bit more than these ones on Banner 2 here. One last reminder, the contest information will be announced soon. In the meantime, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of Relic Review. This is Nazdarachi. As always, stick with the channel, and I will continue to come at you guys with some more Record Keeper information, as well as some other games here and there. And in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day, some awesome luck on your pulls, and I will catch you next time. Have a good one, y'all. Peace out.